Hey, what's up, everybody? It's the liberal loudmouth. So Uvalde was back in the news recently because this city report, this investigator did this investigation into what happened at Uvalde that resulted in the deaths of so many children and adults at the school, at Uvalde Public Schools. And parents are pissed about it. Just take a look at this AP article. Uvalde parents angered by new report that clears city police of missteps during Texas school attack. And what I found interesting about the investigation is that even at the very beginning of the investigation, this guy says, well, the district attorney was basically trying to make my job harder, didn't give me everything I needed, but I went ahead and proceeded with it, and everything was fine. Let me show you that real quick. I've spent my career working side by side with state and federal prosecuting attorneys, and I felt that there was enough division within the district attorney in the city of Uvalde. Really? The DA and the city, you think there was enough space between them that there's no conflict of interest? Bullshit. Anyway, during a pretrial meeting, I offered to drop the suit, and Miss Mitchell agreed to give me a timeline and evidence that she thought would be useful in my investigation. This meant that I would only receive what the Uvalde County District Attorney believed I needed to conduct a thorough and complete investigative review of the officer's actions. So, right off the bat, this investigation is based off of a bullshit narrative that the district attorney and the city wanted to put out there. I never received the original hallway video and was told by the DA to use the one on the internet. I never received an investigative report from DPS on the case. I didn't receive the CCTV footage from the school or the funeral home. I didn't receive the Uvalde County Sheriff's BWC video. The alert report noted that they had received all the items I requested to conduct their report on the incident. Ms. Mitchell stated that I would have to get consent from UCISD and any other agency, such as the Sheriff's Department, to obtain a copy of their videos or statements, even though the Rangers had this as part of their work product, and Ms. Mitchell had already given me 2 statements from UCISD. So right off the bat, no matter what the hell this guy came up with at the end, it was going to be based off of what they wanted to provide him. The report basically stating that the cops didn't do anything wrong. That on its face just violates reality. Let's take a look at some of the video footage, shall we, from that day. And let's just look at it from a standpoint of we're society. We collectively pay for the police departments to do a job. Is what they did that day part of the job that we believe we're paying them to do? Let's take a look and discuss afterwards. Now, this person entered at 11:33 on the camera there. A door open in the back. Who saw that? This cop was so worried about his hair and whether he'd gotten shot. Presumably, that one of the bullets from the shooter hit the wall and he got sheetrock or something in his hair, and this dude just starts freaking out. And look at this guy in the back here, just walking back and forth, just do. Bro, people's kids are in there. What the fuck? So they arrived at 11:36. Look at this. It's been over 20 minutes now. Look, you've got a guy down here with a riot shield, a ballistic shield. All this firepower. And keep in mind, at some point during this, one of the parents was trying to get into that school to get his kids, and they arrested that man. They arrested the guy that was trying to do their job for them. Let's keep going forward here. And look at them. There's no sense of urgency with these fucking people. None whatsoever. We'll just keep going. It's almost like they called to have a party. Like, hey guys, let's come on down here. Let's all congregate and have a conversation. Let's talk about what we're not doing. Just standing about outside, just doop. On their phones, just doing nothing. It's been what, 40 minutes now? Was this 50 minutes later? And now they've breached it. Now, what the hell do you think that we pay police officers to do exactly? Just walk around looking like badasses with their vests and shit? Or do we pay them to put themselves into dangerous situations to protect everybody else? Isn't that what we pay them to do? Isn't that why we hold them up in such high regard? Because, they've got such a dangerous job. Well, I've got news for you. Being a police officer actually isn't as dangerous as you might think it is. It's actually not even the top 20 most dangerous jobs in the country. That's right. It's like 22nd. It's more dangerous being a truck driver, a taxi cab driver. Hell, it might even be more dangerous being a fucking retail worker than it is being a cop. And why? Because their first goal always is to protect themselves. That's it. That's first goal. We gotta keep ourselves alive. Our lives are more important than the lives of the people that we are trying to protect. In a lot of cases, that's what we see this over and over and over and over again. And then in the instances where their lives aren't really at risk, they claim, well, in order to protect ourselves, we went above and beyond and just went nuts on somebody, beat the fuck out of them, yank them out of the car, tase them to death, sit on them until they can't breathe, and then they die. And they do shit like that. But the fact of the matter is, you're more likely to die as like a lumberjack or a roofer or a cell phone tower climber, a fisherman. I mean, seriously, these jobs are far more dangerous, and you're more likely to die doing those jobs than you are as a cop. Now, that isn't to say that cops shouldn't have their own well-being in mind when they do their job, sure. But when you have kids in a school that are being murdered by a person that has a gun, and you've got 11 people had initially showed up, according to the investigation, and none of them breached this door, put themselves at risk in order to get in there and kill this person. That's a problem. That is a huge problem. That is a violation of everything that we supposedly hold police officers up to be. Now, I can't say what I would do in a situation like that. Would I be able to open the door and just, assess the situation immediately and shoot the person with the gun? I would like to think that I could. I know that I've jumped in a raging river before, risking my own life for a kid who was about 10 or 11 years old, and the parents are down the stream just not paying attention, and I had to drag this kid out of the water. I've done that before. I didn't even think about it. Just jumped in. Even though it was a flooded river and the kid shouldn't have been swimming in it in the first place. But I got him out of there, choking and just spewing water and everything. So I've been in situations where I've had to save somebody else's life before. And I just have a hard time believing that even most cops would do what those Uvalde police officers did. Just stand around, hey, you got a sandwich? Hey, crack a couple of beers here? We're going to have a good conversation now. And then when you look at the situation with, say, the State of the Union address, I did a video covering the full State of the Union address when Marjorie Taylor Greene has the buttons and, say her name, say Laken Riley's name, say her name. She was killed by an illegal, say her name. And then he said it. And so everybody was like, oh my God, he didn't say her name. He said Lincoln Riley. He didn't say her name. So this is what they're concerned about, right? Did they go all out there and say all of the kids' names from Uvalde that died? Did they say their names? Did she say their names? No, these people don't give a shit. They don't give a shit. Governor Abbott, did he say their names or did he praise the officers? Yes, he praised the officers after it happened. It's because of the actions of the law enforcement officers. And then the footage came out and they were like, yeah, they stood there for over an hour. Before they even breached it. Hell, they went right to the fight. They took the fight to him. Yeah, until he got some sheetrock or a piece of a brick land on his head, and this dude about shit himself. The guy about shit himself. There are cops out there that display absolute bravery. There are loads of cops that do. There are loads of cops that would have opened that door and just blasted this dude. But none of those cops there in Uvalde did that. And for the police or for the city to come out with this investigation and say that the cops didn't do anything wrong when we all watched that video, and I can point out all kinds of things that those cops did wrong, I think just goes against what we consider to be reality. So yet again, we have another instance of a government bureaucracy that just refuses to hold itself accountable for any reason whatsoever. We didn't do anything wrong. Just admit that you fucked up, that your cops fucked up, that those cops should have gone into that room immediately at their own peril. Absolutely at their own peril. That's why we hold police up to this huge standard and we give them almost near blanket immunity for everything that they do because it's such a dangerous job. I mean, if that was the case, truck drivers would have blanket immunity. Roofers and lumberjacks would have blanket immunity. Fishermen, blanket immunity, taxi drivers, all these jobs are more dangerous than being a police officer in terms of dying as a result of, being attacked or whatever. I think most deaths for cops are related to getting into wrecks. And a lot of those are because they were texting or playing on their computer while they were driving and crashing and then dying. So this whole notion that, police are just so wonderful and great. Yeah, well, okay. Anyway, this is a conversation that we all really need to have here. That what do we expect from police? Don't we expect them to put their lives at risk to save other people's lives? I do. I believe that's why we hold and should hold police in high regard, because that's what they should do. So how this investigator come up with, well, they didn't do anything wrong. There's a couple of mistakes here and there, but overall, I think they were pretty brave. They're really brave. Well, that one guy, it's pretty scary to have something fall in your hair. Like, come on, folks. We can do better than that. And to Marjorie Taylor Greene, why don't you say all those kids' fucking names? Won't you do that? Instead of playing politics and exploiting the name of somebody else for your own political bullshit. And all that came out as a result of Next Benedict. They're like, oh, we need to find somebody who was killed by an illegal. Well, you know what? You're going to have to sift through hundreds and hundreds and thousands of people who were killed by American citizens, because you're more likely to die from an American citizen, way more likely to die from an American citizen than you are from an illegal. That's just by the numbers. Anyway, that's the video. Please let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Do you agree that with what the cops did? Should they have stood around for the hour and done nothing? Is that appropriate for officers? Should their safety come before the safety of children in a school? I don't know. Tell me what you think in the comment section below, and we can talk about it. All right, that's it for now, guys. This is the Liberal Loudmouth. We'll catch you next time. Peace.